The actor Michael Sheen is making his television directing debut with a new BBC drama. It's called The Way, and it's set in Port Talbot, near where he lives.
Yeah, it's giving you a sense of the location, seeing the scenery behind us here. You've got the coastline, you've got the factories, of course. It follows the Driscoll family as they're caught up in a civil uprising, forced to leave their home and everything they're familiar with. In a moment, we'll be chatting to actor Sophie Melville, who is part of a largely Welsh cast. First, let's have a look at the show itself.
Are you dealing again? I'm asking as a sister, not a copper.
There's no difference. There's no difference, is there? As was made very clear when you arrested me.
Mum says you're always out. Why?
Yeah, the thing about Saint D. Driscoll says is that all she wants to do is mother people. Only I don't need that no more.
What about Dad?
Oh my God, Dad.
People are getting rattled. But the plant, the pilot light, and just everything. Everyone seems on edge all the time. So just you make sure you look after...
Well, what happens will happen. Happy birthday, Reese.
So you got a glimpse of Sophie Melville, our guest this morning. Morning to you.
Good morning.
And so you're a police officer. That's
Sergeant.
Police sergeant.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, police sergeant. But it's a little bit hard to grasp what this is about, because the beginning is very much about a Welsh community, isn't it? It's all about families and difficulties, employment, and just how things are.
Yeah.
And my sense is, having seen the first episode, that it turns into something other.
Yeah, I think the brilliant thing about it is so many different genres. So you have the sort of kitchen sink nature of it, but then the political side of it and the mythical side of it, and it's beautiful and it's ugly, and it's just so many different things, but really vividly, and I think that's what's so brilliant about it.
And you're a police sergeant. Yes, got it right the second time. And your brother, who we saw there, is what's the phrase? A troubled soul. He's got a lot going on.
Yeah, he's a bit lost. There's not much going on in the town, and yeah, he hasn't quite found his purpose yet. But I think throughout the 3 episodes, you sort of see that the family are united with this shared purpose. But I can't give too much away yet.
How much did you know of Port Talbot? Because are you from Swansea?
I'm from Swansea, yeah. So from Swansea Bay, you can see the steelworks. So I've grown up looking at it and sort of being in awe of it, because it's like this weird sort of mythical creature. Like you see the smoke and the fire, and it feels really ominous. So I know a lot about Port Talbot.
Did it have spooky stories about it?
Yeah, so the stuff...
When you were growing up?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the series about the myths of the Red Monk and the Abbey Wall and all that sort of stuff. I mean, like, Wales is seeped in sort of mythology and stories like that, so, yeah.
For those people who haven't got a clue what you just said...
The Red Monk. The Red Monk.
The myths of the Red Monk.
The Red Monk,
OK,
yeah.
just explain.
Which, if you've seen the first episode, you get a hint of, and it confused me, because I don't know about this.
So basically, there's the Margam Castle, so there was an abbey there, so there's still a part of the Abbey Wall. And within the series, you learn that if the Abbey Wall, where the monks lived, if that is to get knocked down, then the town will fall. And it's also the same for the pilot light, which is the main part of, with the flame that you can see in Port Talbot. If that goes out, then the town will also fall. So this is a myth that we all sort of know growing up around there.
And this still exists to this day. So it's not kind of a patronising look at kind of myths or anything in Port Talbot. This is absolutely the foundations of the town.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Michael Sheen's directing. He's in it as well. Got a sneaky peek of him in the first episode. I've read interviews with him. He's saying it's been joyous for him. He's absolutely loved it. Always interesting, though, when an actor, especially such an established actor, kind of flips it on its head and is giving notes. And how is he to work with?
Well, he's amazing because he's coming at it from an actor's point of view. So anytime you felt remotely stuck or you just needed help in any way, like he just knew an in for you. He's an actor, isn't he? He's an extraordinary actor. So it's just a joy to work with.
What was the atmosphere on set like? Because it actually looks, even though it's quite, it feels a bit ominous. It feels like I need to be worried.
Yeah.
I hope that's the right feeling.
Yeah.
OK. What was the set like, though?
Amazing.
Because you were filming in really good weather, weren't you?
Yeah, Wales has never
You're all
seen
in
a summer
hoodies
like
and
it.
balaclavas.
Like it was boiling. Yeah, there was one scene where we were on a beach and they hadn't closed the beach down and everyone was in bikinis and wearing like trench coats and stuff. It was boiling. And there's a scene where I'm in a balaclava and a helmet and it was about 30 degrees. It was so hot. Probably the best weather Wales has ever seen, I think. But yeah, it was just incredible. From the first time I met everyone, we just clicked, and I just knew it was going to be really special. And we were a really tight unit. So then anyone else who came in for like a day or a couple of days, they were sucked into that family dynamic. But
so the extras, as we normally call them, but they're called supporting artists, is the official term.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of them, isn't there?
Yes, so many.
But these are local people, are they?
Yeah. So they all love Michael in Port Talbot. I mean, there's a mural. There's
He's
his
a local
face.
hero, isn't he?
He's a hero, yeah. And there are a graffitied work of his face on, people's houses and all that sort of stuff. He's almost like God there. And they were desperate to be a part of it, and we couldn't have done it without them. They were extraordinary.
So did they have to? They had to audition, presumably. Didn't
I'm
they?
not quite sure what they did. I don't know whether Michael did a sort of call out on social media, but they turned up, like hundreds of them, and like their energy was extraordinary.
Now, your auditioning process has been quite long-winded, hasn't it? Would that be fair to say? So you first tried to audition, is it 2019?
I think so, yeah. It was before the pandemic I got it through. Well, basically, I knew Michael was cast in it, and I quite naughtily asked him if I could be
you
seen
did
for
the
it.
straight up?
Yeah, because we've been talking
Good.
about... He was a fan of my work, and obviously I'm a fan of his. And I asked him if I could maybe be seen for one of the parts, and he said, I've already put you forward, so don't worry about it. And then I auditioned for it and heard nothing and assumed I hadn't got it, because quite often you don't really get told if you've got it or haven't. And then the pandemic obviously happened, and then I got it through the autumn of 2022. And I was reading the script and I was like, no, I know this. I've auditioned for it. Like, I remember these lines. So auditioned for it then on Zoom for a couple of people, and then found out just after the new year that I got it, and screamed the house down, obviously. It was amazing.
What is it like? We said it's a largely Welsh cast. I mean, there is a big move now, isn't there? And many would say rightly so, to have more people with an authentic connection with the stories that are being told. Has that made a difference, do you think?
Yeah, because also, like, we're so nuanced as a nation, the Welsh, and I think that's really reflected in the series as well. Like I was saying to you, the mythology and the poetry and the politics, all that sort of stuff. Like, we're so varied and so colourful. So the fact that you have real Welsh people doing that, I think, yes.
That part of Wales has got a crazy acting talent pool, hasn't it?
Yes,
Over
in water.
decades.
I know. I don't know what's going on in Port Talbot, but if you look at it, which you will see in the series, you've got the beach next to the steelworks, next to the hills. Like, the variation in the landscape is wild, really.
Who needs Hollywood?
Nobody. Come to Wales.
Well, I certainly enjoyed the first episode.
Thank you.
And yes, unsettled, I think, is the right feeling to come away with. But thank you so much. The Way is on BBC One at 9 p.m. on Monday. All episodes are going to be available on the iPlayer, and you'll see Sophie in it, of course.
Time to get the news, travel and the weather where you are.